É cercado de luta e suor, esperança no mundo melhor e cerveja pra comemorar. No lugar dos seus mitos e seres de luz, é bem perto de Oswaldo Cruz, Cascadura vai Pirajá. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Charles Anthony D. Clark, your real estate. Well, let me start back over. Bom dia. I'm Charles Clark, your real estate investment broker, here with another bright idea. So, welcome today to the Aspire Beast Council. Again, I'm Charles Anthony D. Clark, your real estate investment broker, here to help you run and uh, better analysis, help you with a framing, help you get a system so you can start analyzing deals better. I don't know if you guys saw, we are updating things around here. You can see in the back, we have the logo. You can tell I am in a different location today, switching it up, trying to try different avenues and different settings to see how it goes. We can take that off now. Uh, so thank you for joining us again. Always want to give a big shout out to Next Home My Way, the brokerage where I hang my hat at. Where I hang my broker license at. Next Home My Way, located at 5151 South Howell Avenue, ran by Angel, Jose, and Carlos. Thank you again, guys, for allowing me to use the space, put my broker hat up there. So if you are a real estate agent, if you are a real estate broker looking for a new place, looking to grow your business, looking for an establishment to help you become the best agent and broker that you possibly can, definitely reach out to Angel, Jose, or Carlos, or myself, and we can help you and put you on that path and give you a business plan to help you grow your business. Um, I always like to bring up my team, Raise the Standard. Raise the Standard Real Estate. We predominantly focus on investors. That's why we put all these things on. So we are huge on helping educating real estate investors and agents on how to run a real estate investment business. We know that a lot of agents out there love working with investors, but don't also always understand the things that investors are expecting or needing. So we help educate and coach agents on how to run their business to satisfy real estate investors and to also help themselves be able to invest in real estate. There's a lot of real estate agents that do not invest in real estate, and a lot of them don't even own real estate. And so we try to help them be able to create the systems and frameworking so that they can actually take their commission checks and reinvest into their business and invest in real estate. As I always like to share, is that for a real estate agent, investing in real estate is not just for their personal lives, but is actually for their business life, because investing in real estate, it creates another stream of income for them to support them through those up and downs when commission checks are not rolling in. The real estate investments, when you're having duplexes, when you have 4 units that you own, those things can sustain you in those down months, or even when you do fix and flips. You get a lump sum payment that can sustain you over a few months while your commission checks balance out. So having this business within your business helps sustain your business. And so as Raise the Standard, because we focus on mom and pop investors and we focus on your real estate agents, we try to do everything with having a model where our three models that help run us, which is one is raise the standard of living. Everything that we do has to improve the lives of the individuals involved in the deal. So clients, family, us, our family, and the community. If everyone doesn't win in that situation, we don't want to do those deals. So if the standard of living isn't raised because of our deals, we don't want to be a part of it. So that's model number one. Model number two is be better by being better. Every day we're trying to improve ourselves. We're trying to improve our business. We're trying to improve our systems. We're trying to improve the service that we provide. And we try to do it 1%, 5%, 100%, but we're always trying to improve and we're always trying to be better. And the last one is, what's your legacy? Why are you doing this, right? Because we're not always going to be here. And so, you got to have your big why. So always try to bring that into every situation that we do. Is that what we're doing this for? I always bring up that I have my son. So a lot of the decisions I make in my life is based around, making sure that we're in a good situation, that I can spend the time with him. I can be there for him and leave something for him after I'm gone. So all three of those models is how we approach every business deal, every relationship, every ordeal that we get into. If you're looking for a real estate investment broker to help you build your real estate business, please reach out to me. I'm definitely here. This is why we're doing this, to help individuals better understand when they're investing in real estate that is a business and not just buying a property. And as my motto always is, I don't help you buy a property, or we don't help you buy a property. We help you buy a business. It just so happens to be a property. And that's the approach that we try to help individuals understand when they're looking at purchasing real estate, is that they're not just purchasing real estate, they're purchasing a business. They're purchasing people to where they have to oversee people's lives. And if they don't have things in order, a lot of things can go awry, and then they can't scale the way they want to because they don't have certain things in place. So again, if you are a mom and pop manager, someone who knows they need to invest in real estate, maybe you love your career, but you have to invest in real estate to live the life you want to. Maybe you're in a career that you don't really like, but real estate investing is your calling. Please reach out. I am definitely here to assist you on that path and help you and join our Aspire investment group and everything else as well. With that being said, if you didn't see, we got a new logo that we're experimenting with. It's our animation logo, but we are doing big things here at Aspire. So wanted to get that out there. Put this out on one of our videos. We are still making some improvements, but wanted to show that we're putting money into things that we want to do. So Aspire, if you don't know, Aspire Investing LLC, we are a ecosystem. So obviously, with me sharing that I'm with Raise the Standard Real Estate, and that we focus on mom and pop investors, your real estate agents, and your real estate brokers, and those individuals surrounding the real estate industry to help them invest in real estate. We knew that we needed an ecosystem. And so just like you have your other real estate groups, this was kind of wanting to be a focal point, an ecosystem for those individuals trying to invest. 50% of my clients are out of state, so I wanted to also give them a way to be able to meet local individuals so that they can create that community for themselves, so that they can build their real estate business sooner than later, because they have the resources, they have the individuals that they can talk to, they have the contractors that they're building relationships with. So the whole premise around Aspire was to try to create an ecosystem where individuals can come and execute. It's not about just reading, showing up for this, right? It's not about this. This is compounding effects on everything that we do. Deal analysis is just hey, get you out there. Hey, here's running the numbers and here's what's next on the deal, so that you can go out there and actually analyze deals. We wanted to provide a system, right? We just didn't want to show up to the meetups and talk about real estate. We wanted to show up and show how you can do real estate. And that's what Aspire is all about. It's about executing. It's cool to watch the videos. It's cool to read the books. It's cool even to run analysis on properties, but if you're not moving forward to actually acquire that property, acquire that deal, then what are we doing this for, right? So that's the whole premise around Aspire. I want to bring up part of what we're doing here. Here is our website. Sorry about that. Here's our website. Aspire investing exists for the ones who show up, do the work, and build real lasting wealth through disciplined transaction, institutional grade development, and world class investor education. So our whole premise is about building up um, your ability to keep moving forward. Right? We're about aspiring for a better life, a better, a better understanding, a better approach, aspiring just for a better life. Right? So obviously you can come here, you can get our mission. Our mission is to build a self-sustaining real estate ecosystem where those willing to learn, execute, and grow can create real lasting wealth for themselves, their families, and their communities. We are turning ambition into assets, effort into legacy. So again, this is what we're about. We're four engines, one ecosystem. So obviously me and Devin, our co-owner, we're both brokers. We have our real estate license. So obviously the transaction, we feel like that's surrounding everything, right? The transaction is everything. If you don't have a transaction, you don't move forward, right? Without the transaction, you're not investing in real estate. So that's how we feel. Because our method and methodology is around pretty much the value add. We feel like the next one is wealth engine, right? Because you either have to fix and flip new construction, right? You have to improve the property. So we realize that one of the wealth engines that we're trying to help create is that aspect of the real estate business of how do you add the value to the property to do the force appreciation. And then the education ecosystem. Again, we didn't just want to create another um, investor meetup group and people just tell stories about what they did and how they got there, and there was no tangible way for that person listening to actually grasp what they were saying and actually be able to apply it. Right? It's one thing to go through your life and your experiences and you get to the point where you got to, but if you can't really articulate and write down the steps that you took to get you there and you're just sharing your story, it helps it helps to give people motivation. It helps people inspire, but it doesn't really give them a game plan to help them move things forward. And then the final one was and mentorship mandate. Again, we don't think it's isolated, right? This whole building an investment business, the whole building this new life, it involves all different aspects of your life. So you need to be developing and you got to be building those relationships within the business and outside the business, right? And so we try to all incorporate that into the teachings and working with Aspire Investing to get you to the life that you're trying to live by using real estate investing. So with that being said, Aspire. So we built this, the deal analysis, we built this around the Aspire name. So A is for address, asset. So obviously, whatever address you have, the asset, you kind of want to understand where you are coming from. What are your plans are, right? You're looking at this address. What do you think you're going to do, right? Is this a fix and flip? Is it a BRRRR? Is it a buy and hold? Is it your wholesaling deal? Like you kind of got to go into the situation knowing what you think you're going to do with the deal. S is for seller situation, which you want to understand, right? Is it a regular seller, right? Is it a distressed seller? Is it bank owned? Is it owned by an LLC? Is it owned by just another investor who hasn't in the LLC yet? Is it owned by a trust? Is it owned by the city? Right. So you want to understand all these different avenues that the seller situation could be in, and so that it can help you negotiate the deal better. P is for purchase price, purchase assumption, right? Having the seller price right is one thing, and having your price is another. And then you're trying to meet somewhere in the middle as you gather more information. I is for investment improvement. Again, the strategy that we mostly focus on is how do we redeploy the capital. And the only way we can redeploy the capital is that we improve the property to the point where we can pull the money back out or we can sell it to gain the access to the asset, the to gain access to the equity that we have built into the home so that we can go and get the next deal, right? And then R is for revenue. This could be your cash flow, your month-to-month cash flow, or this can be your profit from a sale. And then E is your exit strategy. So now it comes full circle, right? Because we have the approach that no matter what deal you get into, you need to know how you're going to get out of it. I know some people say, hey, I'm holding it forever. That's cool. Even with forever, there needs to be an exit strategy because you won't be here forever. And so how are you going to handle that? Is it going to be moving in a trust? Is it already in a trust? Is the trust already buying it? So even with every deal, you need to have an exit strategy, because at the end of the day, what we also teach here at Aspire and what we try to facilitate with Raise the Standard is you're trying to build a portfolio. So no purchase is isolated. And I think that's what a lot of people do sometimes, especially new investors. They just say, I need to get this property. I need to get that property. That property should fit what you're trying to build, right? That property should fit the portfolio that you're trying to build for your lifestyle, your family, your future, whatever it is, right? So each property should fit that. And then there should be an exit strategy for each property you have, right? If it hits a certain threshold, if it hits certain appreciate at a certain point, right? If you saying that it's supposed to be worth 500,000 in 5 years and it's reached 500,000 in 3 years, why wouldn't you sell it? And some people, well, I keep letting it grow, but now you can use that equity. You reached that amount 2 years before you had to. Now, why not use that money and redeploy it somewhere else where you can triple that amount that you just created in that one, right? Just holding that on there, now you're going to start depleting. Wait if the market turns, right? What if it goes down to 450 in year two because we go through a recession? Now you missed out on that opportunity. You lost $50,000 in equity, right? So you got to have that as a strategy. You got to have those markers so that you can actually run a deal analysis on your property. Especially, I think what a lot of people forget is that they don't run an analysis after you get the deal, right? You got to have your KPIs for your properties after you close on them, so you know if they're the right deal or not, and if you should get out of the deal. All deals that you get into don't end up being the right deal, right? You might find out afterwards that this wasn't the right deal for you. You get it to the point, and then you need to get out. So there you have it. That's the Aspire's framework, that how we approach everything. We took that mentality and we put it into a calculator, and that's what we're going to use now. And we're going to go over a deal that I'm going to pick out. So give me a brief moment here. I got to switch screens. Here we go. So here's the Aspire Beast Council. We're going to start off. We're going to ask them bring me a deal, and I'll show council ruling. We are trying out some new things just to let everyone know who's watching and keeping things abreast. We are trying to actually move some of this stuff over to Claude. We're trying different AIs to make sure that we have the right system, to make sure that we are deploying the things that we need to make sure that you guys get the resources and tools needed to help you become the real estate investment individual that you're trying to become, right? So again, this is something that we have for our members of the Aspire meetup, Aspire group. Once you sign up in school, you have access to this as well, and you can help run your deals, and then you can bring them to a future Tuesday meeting. All right, so I am picking a deal that's on the market. So obviously, one of the strategies that we like to look at is deals that's been on the market for a while. So this is a duplex that's been on the market for over 70 days. I pulled up this stuff. I ran this deal a few weeks back, and it's still on the market. So obviously, me using AI, I kind of asked it, what deal should I kind of run, and said we should use this one. Believe this property is going through foreclosure. I don't know. Again, me being a licensed broker, I got to be a little leery of some of the information I share. But with that being said, this property has been on the market for 70 days. Did some research. So we want to talk about, again, the approach, right? This is the address. This is a duplex. So ideally, what we'll be looking at, this is a BRRRR, right? So we can keep the asset and make the most of it. 70 days. Right now, we can give some assumption with the seller. Could be in a situation where they feel some type of way of needing to get rid of the property. So again, why I like this calculator that we put together, it tells a story because it's supposed to be helping teaching you as it's running the numbers. So we're going to give it the information that is necessary so that it can run the numbers. Please use this PDF to get the information you need for A and S. So it's going to pull all the information out. And again, the reason why I like using this, especially because we're trying to help educate and improve people's understanding of real estate investing and better equip themselves, is that it should tell a story. All right, because now one of the things that I've been doing, because where I'm kind of switching my system over to Claude, is as I put this information in there, I wanted to dump it somewhere else so that I can gather it later. The problem that I was having doing all this is that I would run all these numbers and I would just put them in a file somewhere and it would just sit there. So now what I've been using and using AI is that once I run these numbers, it's populating into a spreadsheet so that I can track the properties that I've been running and giving me an opportunity to have my own database of the deals that I've been looking over. So like when something might pop back up, like for example, like this, something that I ran a few weeks ago and now it's back on my radar, I already have a deal analysis. I can compare it to what it is now. Hey, that was 3 weeks ago. We're in a different place right now. Now we might analyze it differently from that standpoint. What kind of deals could we make now that we, maybe we were flexible back then. Now we're less little flexible now because it's been sitting a little bit longer. So it's giving you all the information with the year built, square footage, lot size, zoning, garage, utilities, heat, right, and the asking price, which is $199. It's on the market for 7 days. Obviously, we think that's a little bit too high. And then observations, right? Large historic duplex with significant square footage. Appears to have many cosmetic update already completed. Former owner intended to expand the lower unit by creating a walkout entrance and adding additional living space. Plumbing and framing were reportedly planned but not completed. Seller is in a foreclosure REO, seller concessions none, property vacant. So it's giving that information. Like again, it researches some of this stuff. Seller is motivated, but obviously they got a number that they need to have, right? So we have that now. So what I'm gonna do now is we're at P. So I'm gonna ask it to use this to get P. Please use this PDF to try to come to a reasonable price and purchase assumption. You should be able to come with an ARV based on this. So I kind of ran some of these things beforehand. There are a few things that I want to do in front of you guys. So, all right. So the asking price is $199, 2-family, functional but incomplete value add opportunity. Taxes is $5,000. Active listings from 106 to 525. Medium active list price is $199. 5 recent sales ranging from 111 to 339. Medium sale price is 170. Average sale price is 214. Subject significantly larger than most of the lower price comparable duplex and appears to have much of the cosmetic renovations, right? So it's trying to get a little bit closer. See, now it's saying conservative ARV is 235. You're probably between 230 and 250. I'm going to pull another report and see if I can get a little bit more well-rounded score, and just with the different things that's going on in the property as well, different things that's going on in the market. So I'm gonna pull some market data, and then I'm also gonna pull the rental income as well. So purchase target is between 180 and 190 now. Maximum initial offer 180 with room to negotiate upward. So what I'm going to ask it to do is now for I use the MLS tax PDF that I originally gave you for ANS, use the photos to come up with a rehab budget that's reasonable for this place, knowing that there are things that have not been done because the original seller started it. So please incorporate needing to finish what the original seller started and not assuming that this is just a regular rehab budget. So again, maybe you don't know everything, right? Maybe you don't have a price. Now this helps, right? Being able to, like, not one thing in there that I said that had numbers, right? So, and that's where a lot of people struggle with is the rehab budget. So now me explaining the rehab budget, we have built in there where it does take the local market, right? As we grow and, you know, we get other members that are outside the Wisconsin area, we'll have things adapting, but it does pull from the local market of just roughly what they feel some things are and what it can do. So this is the rehab budget that is coming up with. So like now, and this is another cool thing that now that you have is now you can reach out to it. So basically sometimes what I do is I'll take this list and then I'll ask ChatGPT, give me 2 to 3 contractors that's in the market that I can call to confirm these prices. And then I'll ask and say, hey, give me the questions I need to ask to make sure that I ask the right questions. Right. So this really does help with just presentation, everything else, and formulating the conversation you need to have so you can move forward. Right. So we got an $80,000 budget, which I think is correct just because of some of the things that we heard. So now it's giving us different. So best realistic is 65, 80, you know, 100,000 on the higher end. So we're going to just use 80 moving forward. Significant cosmetic work has already been done, interior conditions, right? Some stuff, but they didn't finish the lower. They started something and now they backed out. So now someone has to finish it. It's not like cosmetic rehab, but it also is not a full gut, right? So you just got to have the money to finish off what they kind of started and maybe needing to revamp their ideas so that it's better improved. So now what I'm gonna do is, as you can see over here, I'm going to Rentometer. I kind of pulled it. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. So I'm going to pull this. This is kind of what the rents they're saying right now. Now, obviously it's trying to have bigger space for that other unit. So you might be able to get a higher rent for that. But who knows, right? So we're going to do there. And so now we're going to say this is a rental report. And so we're going to, and then I want to, there we go. I got one more report that I need to give. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take 2 reports that I have. Please use both of these reports. Use the rental report for the rental cash flow if this property was kept, and then use the valuation report and its reports within that report to better understand the ARV and the resale value and what's going on locally in the market and what's the likelihood of us being able to sell that by using this extra data in the valuation report. Use both of these to help with coming up with the correct exit strategy. So now that we did all that, right? Again, the numbers are already in there. I'm giving it framework so that it can better understand everything, right? So it's going with the rents revenue, right? It's doing that. So it's conservative. Council best case is 14. Optimism is 16. So they're going with 1450. 2,900 a month, is slightly above the Rentometer average, but below many nearby renovated 3-bedroom units advertised between 17 and 18. So it's trying to give it a conservative. So it's letting you know it could go up higher. Again, with the lower unit having that extra space, we probably could charge it a little bit more. Now we have a little bit higher, right? Because initially it said 230, 250. This one is saying 289. They're saying 223. So this is going to give us a little bit better conservative ARV, right? They initially said 230 and letting us bring it up to about 240, 250. And now the upper range is 270, 285. So using this other report, you can see that it gave us a little bit more cushion to be able to say there might be some more valuable properties there that we can raise the ARV, giving us a little bit more cushion. Again, it's a problem with it being on the market at 199, and then we saying we need to put 80,000 in it. That's literally everything in it. So this is again where this is my knock on some agents and not understanding and not being able to truly help the investor that they're helping selling this property for, right? Because at the end of the day, they're selling it for the exact price that an investor is looking to end up at. So they're not helping themselves, right? So this is where understanding value from an investor standpoint and not understanding value from a retail buyer, right? A retail buyer, someone who's going to move in there, they don't need the property to be worth a certain amount to be able to do a certain strategy, right? They just need to move into a house and live in it. So by definition, they are selling the house, selling this property at the right price if they're going to try to sell it to a retail client, right? Someone who's going to buy, move in, and live in it and be there for a while and don't need it to be a certain amount at a certain time period. That's because 190 plus 80, well, that's 270. You're at 279. You're around the 280, right? 1,000 more. You're 200,000 plus 80,000. You're at 280. What it says that the ARV should be, well, 289. That's proving our point, right? So if they're going to try to sell it and no one's from a retail is going to buy it, now they got to sell it to an investor. The price is going to be different. It has to be different because I'm not going to buy this at 200,000, put 80,000 in it, and then now the ARV comes back at 280. I'm at the exact amount of money that I put in the deal. That's not how investments work, right? So this is where I would say this is priced wrong from that standpoint. So BRRRR is the highest and best strategy. Strong rental demand supported by the rental meter data. 2-3 bedroom units provide diversified income. Opportunity to create additional equity by completing the unfinished lower level project, right? So there is another way to value. So like I love how it's giving us stars, letting us know buy and hold, fix and flip, right? Purchase is 180, 80,000, so it's 260, right? So to flip it, right, because we're in there all 260. If they sell it at 280, there's some money there, but not too good. And then you got the wholesaling, then creative financing. Because the properties are REO, there's really nothing you can do right there. So proceed to E. And so we verify asking price is 199, council target is 180, 80, council 250, right? So assume exit one, flip. We don't need that right now. Underwriting, purchase, rehab, closing costs 250. We're losing about 25,000 before selling commission and closing. So that doesn't make sense. Stabilized income 34,000 annually using conservative. The combination of rental demand and equity creation through completing the unfinished project makes BRRRR the strongest strategy fit. Buy and hold, duplex diversification, stable rental demand. It's older. So when they say buy and hold, it's typically just you're going to put the money in and hold it, and then you're just going to make your money that way. Wholesaling guardrail requires the end buyer to retain at least 15%. So that's not going to happen. So it's giving you a reason and a strategy, right? So strategy is BRRRR, buy and hold, flip, wholesaling, creative financing. BRRRR is with the long-term hold. We got that all in there. We're going to issue verdict now. So again, telling the story, helping you understand it, and then breaking everything down. The council has completed Aspire underwriting using the MLS package, CMMA. So it's letting you know that it gathered all that stuff. It's saying which one's the best strategy. The council determines. And then it's still going off of this, right? So it's going to break it down and say, okay, based off this stuff, based off if we try to do it at current, total investment is 275, council ARV is 250. We're going to be leaving money in there. Conservative ARV range is 240, 250. This is 2,900 a month, where annual gross is 3,400. So flip is negative. Burr. So this is not a deal at that price, right? The council finds the property retail fundamentals are materially stronger than its flip economics. The council finds the current acquisition price estimate rehabilitation budget leave insufficient margin, right? So there's not enough there. It gave us a lot of points because we gave it a lot of information. It supports what is strong duplex, verified neighborhood rental demand, balanced market, opportunity for equity, right? There's things there. This is what is the acquisition margin. We can't purchase it at the price that they're talking about, right? The rehab, we don't, because they try to do other stuff, we don't know what we need to do extra. Obviously, they ran out of cash. Why did that happen? What were going on? So here it is. For us to make it a deal, we need to purchase it at 165. So we're 30,000 away from where we need to be, right? So they're at 199. We need to be at 165 at 80,000. Definitely needed to keep it lower than 180. If you around 180, we got to try to make the rehab around 60,000. Try to push it around to 285, right? But you don't really necessarily have that goal, right? Trying to get the hard money, things of that nature, right? So you need all these things to come in play. Obviously, this is not a good deal based on the price that is there right now. So you need to negotiate. So negotiating at 165. Again, this is what we try to do with Aspire, is to always try to push you forward of things you can do, right? If you're still saying, okay, how do I make this a deal? We're never a opponent of, hey, do this deal no matter what. No, how do we make this a deal, right? Just don't buy this at 199 because you said it's a deal and then I can get it at 285. And because if I do 80, you're trying to rework it. That's not what it's talking about. We need to reframe it. We need to adjust to the ARV, not we are hoping that everything appreciate more than what we think things are, right? So this is where you have to really strategize, right? This is why I say you're not buying a property, you're buying a business. It just so happens to be a property. You have to strategize. All right, we need to purchase at 165, so let's offer 150, right? Then they bring us back up to, well, we want 185. Well, we're gonna do 160. Well, 175. Hey, we got to do 165. Or you can be like, hey, we're doing what I normally do is we need to purchase the price at 165 because we think our rehab is at 80. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we're accomplishing. If I'm wrong, show me, and I'm happy to pay you more so that we get the deal done. Right? Because at the end of the day, I need to be at a certain amount so that I can get to 285 so I can pull certain money out. If you can show to me buying it at 199 and you only have to put 30,000 in there and you're at 220 all in, then you refinance at the 250, 260 mark, and then you can pull your money out. If you can show me that, then let's do the deal. Let's make the deal happen. But obviously that's not the case in this situation. So I will present my case. I will show them all my numbers. I will show them everything and say, I'm no lowballing you. I'm offering you my MAO, my maximum acceptable offer, because this is my strategy. I think at times if we show the seller, we show the agent our strategy and that we're not lowballing them, that we're literally approaching this from a scientific, mathematical standpoint. And this is why we're offering this. If they can prove us wrong, and then we can adjust our offer based on that. Well, there you have it. There's a deal analysis. We went through it again. I hope this helps. Again, this is not about writing down and sales price divided by net override income. You get your capital rate. Those formulas, obviously, everyone can teach those. We'll go through some deal analysis where I actually break down the formulas. But at the end of the day, the technology is there that it can run the stuff for you. You want to have some understanding of where it comes from, right? The numbers that I pull is coming from somewhere, right? I'm pulling the numbers because I'm a licensed broker. I am able to have access to the MLS. I'm able to access to the NAR. I got access to housing numbers that maybe the typical investor doesn't have, and so I can input those informations. Everyone can pay for rental meter. Everyone can find a real estate investment broker like myself, and help you pull those information and that data so they help you analyze your deals better. But that's ultimately what you want to do, right? You want to put in the information that's necessary so you can accurately run the numbers so you can go to the next step. So even in this situation, I can still say, okay, let me go and see if the 80,000 is, maybe I don't need to put the 80,000 in. Let me go at deal analysis. It's been on the market for 70 days. That's typically what I want to go after anyway. Let me go to the property. Let me go look and see if I need to put in $80,000 worth of work. Maybe if I go there and I see it, it's like, oh no, I only need to put 60,000 in there. That's even way better, right? So now I can go and now I have a better understanding when I go walk the property. So again, use these systems to help you move forward. Now you know what to look at. Now I can go call those numbers, right? I can ask AI, hey, you gave me this list of a rehab budget. Give me 2 contractors for each of these so I can contact them. And now you got to call them. That's part of this process, right? Running deal analysis should help you improve your business. Every deal should help you do something, right? It should help you connect. It should help you call someone and build more relationships with those individuals. So help you run your real estate investment business, right? I got to call a painter on there. I got to call someone else on there. Now I'm building that relationship out. Now I got to call a contractor. Maybe that contractor has a free day. Like, hey man, you've been calling me. Let's go look at one together, right? You never know the opportunities that might come from you reaching out and trying to build these relationships in the meantime of finding that deal. So there you have it. That's the Aspire Beast Council. We ran a deal. Want to make sure we remind you of the 90-day cohort starting September 2nd. DM me, find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, find me on YouTube. DM me September. We'll take in applications. Obviously, we can't take everyone, but we're trying to take in as many people as we possibly can to help them get their first deal or their next deal, right? 90 days for your first deal, your next deal. And there's 3 outcomes that you will come from it. Like if you can't get pre-approved and if you don't have the down payment, you will have a business plan on how to build your real estate investment business. You'll know where to go get a lender, find a contractor, find a property manager, how to analyze deals, how to put in an offer, how to move it forward. 90 days, that will happen. The second outcome is you can get pre-approved. You do have down payment. We got you accepted offer. You have an acceptor offer and now you're just waiting to close. And then the last situation is that you already have an acceptor offer, you already closed, and now you're starting to implement the strategy of after closing. Because at the end of the day, everything starts at the closing. I know a lot of people just can't wait to buy their investment property and believe that's when everything begins. That's where it begins, right? It's not where you close and then the party's over. The party just starts when you close on a property. You got to get everything in order, again, because you're not just buying a property, you're buying it in a business. It just so happens to be a real estate property. Charles Anthony D. Clark, your real estate investment broker, here with another bright idea